As if. I got way more tood than you scrubs. Check it. I flex. I can do front flips. I think I've got this kind of racial thing going on.
That's not tood. Have you even heard my sound bites?
Hey, I thought I saw Elvis back there.
I mean, hello?
You guys don't know what you're talking about.
I can die. I jump on metal monster and save a pointy rat every day. I'm mother 8 years old. 8 years old. I've seen shit that would make your swim out of your asshole and shout.
Hi.
Brazil!
Now, I've had a strange relationship with this series that I want to talk to you about, but before all that, you have to know one thing. Street Fighter II was a gamer magnet. I'll always remember locking onto the arcade cabinet way back when and seeing these two massive character sprites pre-scuffle. Those badass warriors looked peeled out from some elusive big boy cartoon, and then
Fight!
arms stretched across the room, massive uppercuts sliced into the skyline. E Honda did very impressive things without flashing his junk, let's be honest, and it was spectacular. The game arrived one day in 1991 and it turned into an absolute arcade staple. It was by no means the first competitive fighter to enter hallowed gaming rings, like, clearly. But even compared to its predecessor, Street Fighter II didn't look like anything else, it didn't sound like anything else, and playing it certainly didn't feel like anything else either. Street Fighter II quickly became a social phenomenon in any worthwhile local hangout. The game was a means to showcase gaming proficiency, to prove group pecking orders, and well, it was just a darn good way to live out killer martial arts dreams with like-minded buddies, old or new.
Hadouken! Go ahead, you can be as loud as you want. I can't believe you live so close to the arcade, dude. You're like the luckiest kid ever. Yeah. Whoa, is this your game room? It was a family room, but I've made it the cat cave. Whoa. See that over there? That's a Magnavox Odyssey. You think that new Street Fighter game's awesome? Well, my dad sent this to me. He says it was the epitome of competitive gameplay back in the day. 2 players, mano a mano, and you can play a ton of cool games. Check it. Tennis, hockey, Simon Says, Fun Zoo, and Cat and Mouse, which I just don't think you're gonna be able to beat me at. They all look the same. Yeah, you've gotta put a plastic overlay on your TV to get the full effect. I don't have any of those multiplayer things around, but I did try making my own one-player game. I made a complicated maze. Makes me think of Chun-Li for some reason. I don't see it. Anyway, speaking of Chun-Li, I heard that Street Fighter 2 is coming out for the Super Nintendo, and pretty soon. What? Really? Yeah, my uncle told me. Shh, he works for Nintendo.
Fuck my life.
Well gosh, we're totally renting Street Fighter 2 the second it comes out. No doubt. You know what? I'm glad I met you today. We could be like a gaming duo. Dog, you have seen the cat cave and now you must prove yourself or die.
Street Fighter II brought together characters in our local arcades, that's for sure, and it introduced the world to its own colorful cast, too. Each of the world warriors in the game had their own personalities, backstories, and felt different, even when sometimes they didn't play different. And I think you have to realize that just being able to choose a character in a fighting game, that was very new at the time. Once you decide on a player, you'd zoom around a world map, enter vibrant arenas of concentrated culture, and then try to master gladiatorial combat. Simple. And simplicity was one of the great draws of Street Fighter II. Anyone could execute basic combat moves with the 6-button arcade setup, but the game took on a whole other level of technique as players really learned the extent of controlling its roster. You could perform special moves, for example, and while Street Fighter II didn't invent the concept of special moves in fighting games, it undeniably popularized them and their inputs. People don't talk about this enough. As far as I'm concerned, Street Fighter II is the reason you try a quarter circle punch or kick when you pick up a new fighting game. That's a huge deal. And yeah, the developers didn't invent special moves, like I said, but they did implement the first combo attack system in the fighting game genre, albeit accidentally. Combos were notoriously programmed into the game as developers tried to make special move inputs easier for players. Pretty crazy, huh? Well, it turns out the team was a master of combos and had no clue because the mixture of awesome art, characters, music, and controls made Street Fighter II a freakin' icon. It really led the fighting game wave that's still rippling along today. The game sucked in crowds and quarters, producing billions, that's with a B, in revenue by the mid-1990s. And I was there like everybody else. I freaking loved everything Street Fighter II. And about a year after it hit arcades, when we could finally pull the game into home consoles, I loved the game just the same, but, well, there's more. Something kind of weird. In my story, at least.
TV? Your best friend's a TV you've got at home? Doesn't it get bored when you're not around?
Nah, he's alright. But what about you? I don't see your folks around, ever.
Everyone's always busy. Projects here and there, work, you know, all over the place. And we move around a lot. But, I got a bunch of cool stuff here in the cat cave. Oh, shoot, right! That's why I invited you over! Check out what I got!
Whoa! Street Fighter? Oh my fuck!
Motherfucking stupid.
Yep, Street Fighter 2, and I'm gonna kick your butt with Guile. He's the best and bravest character in the whole game.
Fuck my life.
Let's play.
To me, Street Fighter II was a huge deal. Massive. It connected and lit a red-hot flare of interest that guided me to competitive fighting games in the early 90s. It was so fun and interesting and new. I followed and dug into all the quasi-sequels. I ate up the films and the TV shows and anything else I could lay my paws on. I was like an addict. Now, I kept alluding to my personal story with this series, and it's nothing groundbreaking, but here it is. My passion for the Street Fighter series dimmed and flickered out after 2. Super quick. Like the last hasty, fizzling flick of a charcoal sparkler. And really, honestly, I can't pinpoint why. I want to. There are so many series that I've clung to throughout the years, and look, maybe this feels unearned or disjointed from the rest of what I've laid out here today, but I really just want to know what happens. Why do we sometimes lose touch with the games and the series we love? Do we get singed by bad experiences? Well, some folks just go right on and power through hiccups, accepting what they're given or looking for better times in the future. I know I certainly have. I don't know, it wasn't like that for me with this one. Hey, maybe we just lose touch at some point. Time zips by, and it just gets too complicated to get back into again. I'm not sure. I wish I knew the answer. Now, I don't have that, but what I do have today are the wonderful memories of a time in gaming that brings me incredible joy to look back on. And when I'm feeling particularly nostalgic, I can still jump back in and do a quarter circle punch or two, for good old time's sake.